1. Hello bakers, I'm Robin, your host, and this is another episode of Take Two Bakes. Today I want to share with you guys a fun tear and share bread. Now I know what a lot of you are thinking. Baking is just cookies and cakes, but not true. I fell in love with making bread, so that's what we're going to do today. Let's do a quick rundown of all the ingredients. We have 500 grams of bread flour, 10 grams of salt, 10 grams of yeast. We have 25 grams of sugar, 30 grams of unsalted butter, 2 medium eggs, farm fresh if you can. We have 50 milliliters of warm milk, just pop it in the microwave for 20 seconds, and 180 milliliters of cool water. All right, so let's get started. We're gonna start by putting our yeast on one side of the bowl and then our salt on the other. We wanna make sure they're always on the two opposite sides, okay? I like to add my sugar right there with my salt. I'm gonna go ahead and put in my 30 grams of butter, my 2 eggs, make a little well. They just kind of sit there for a second. I'm going to start stirring this together while I add that milk. Go ahead and grab your water. Don't pour all of it in at one time because you'll want to reserve a little bit for later. So once I have it all in the bowl, and it's kind of gotten itself into a ball, I'm going to tip it over on my surface and then start kneading it. It's going to go from a wet stage to a drier, silky stage with the ball. So flour your bench pretty good. Go ahead and pour it all out. And then you'll just get to kneading. This kneading process is going to take us about 10 minutes. So I usually set a 5-minute timer and just see how I'm going. So now I've kneaded the bread for about 7 minutes, and as you can see, it has a very nice silky skin to it. What we're gonna do, we're gonna pop it right back in that same bowl. We're gonna cover it with a tea towel and wait for about 2 hours until it should double up in size. All right guys, here comes the fun part. Our dough has rested and improved for about 2 hours, and you see how nice and it's tripled in size actually. We're gonna go ahead and flour our bench and then pull it out. This is one of my favorite parts because watch, you can tell it's gonna be a great dough. Give me 1 second, I'll show you. But can you see how it's coming out? And that's the air pockets that are formed because of the yeast. It's amazing. Let me get the rest of it out. Now because I'm doing a tear and share bread, what I want to do is I'm going to actually divide this dough in half. Then I'm going to do the fillings, and then I'm going to create like the look of the bread. So all I'm going to do is to start off with is just knock back my dough. So I've knocked it back, and then it went from having like a lot of air into it to where it's a little bit less dense. I think that's the right way to say that. Anyway, I'm just going to cut it in half. That's about half. I'm going to roll out the first one. A little more. Funny story, guys. My mother-in-law makes tortillas all the time, and it always amazes me that she can get them round. I've tried 1,000 times. This, I promise you, is not going to be round. You can kind of take it and just kind of make it a little looser. So I'll put this one off to the side, and now I'm going to get started on the other half. I've decided to go ahead and put chorizo, Manchago cheese, and then I had some roasted red pepper dip in my refrigerator. You can put any filling you want in your tear and share. Create it. You can make a pizza one. You could do a ton of different things. Whatever makes you happy. So the one thing that I will say is put more fillings in there than you think is necessary. There's the dip. First time I made this, I made a mistake and I put not a lot of fillings in there. So I'm going to tell you, load it up with fillings. I like a lot of cheese, as you can well tell. Don't leave any behind. Now, just put the top on. It's almost like a stromboli, really. I'm going to go ahead and pinch them all together, and then I'm going to roll it out some more. So it's just even, and it will get a lot bigger because we have to cut it up. Tuck everything in. I'm going to go ahead and lay mine on some parchment paper really quickly because it's easier to do my design if it's already on parchment paper. That way I don't have to move it around a lot. So I'm going to start with doing a little circle right there. That's kind of my guide. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut slices. And because I have that chorizo in there, you have to cut pretty hard. I want to make a clean break all the way through. Now guys, this is just my design. You can come up with whatever design you want. I was just playing with it last night and I thought, you know what, I like this. And it's pretty simple. I like simplicity. Go all the way around. I use a pizza cutter. I get in trouble all the time in my house because the pizza cutter, to me, is a baking utensil. And some people think that it's meant to actually cut a pizza, but yeah, well. I'm going to take it and I'm going to flip it twice. I'm going to go around to every single one and do the same thing. If you were a perfectionist and you want to go back and make sure everything is completely even, feel free to do that. I look at it like this. I'm impressed with myself that I can make this. So all I'm doing is just doing a little bit of an egg wash. Now this is going to go in the oven. I have the oven at 400 degrees. This is going to go in the oven for 20 minutes. So far, it's been exactly 20 minutes every time I've made this. It's time for a tear and share. Let me get it out of the oven. Now that is a beautiful tear and share. And if your friends aren't impressed that you made something like this, you might just need different friends. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Take 2 Bakes. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to subscribe below and like this video.